Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you doing? How are you doing, everyone? Coming to you live from good old Jamaica. I want to know if you can, bless up Andrew Hines. I want to know if you can hear me clearly. I'm trying to use a mic here, and I'm concerned that there's a lot of background noise because the fan is blazing because it's hot here. Bless up Doc Besker. Tell me if you can hear me clearly. If the background noise, the sound is too noisy, then I have to just take down the mic and just go to the computer directly. Yeah, Andrew, still in Jamaica, Andrew, still in Jamaica, for the North Coast. So let me know. Do you see my background? Is that a different background? Okay, good. Because the AC is kicking in. I can hear it loud and clear, actually. So I'm not sure if it's coming through. All right, so okay, good. So we'll talk about some, the euphoria is at a zenith, given where we are. We're in the third round of the World Cup. But we're not talking about World Cup first. Me have to get something off my chest first when we start talk World Cup, because we have enough conversation to talk about. This show is about an hour and a half. So, and if you want to call in, I'm going to try to see if I can take calls, actually, which should work with my mic that I have. So a couple of things. One is, as I get up in the mornings, and I forget that I'm an hour behind Eastern Standard Time, I try to read the news of the day and see Israel bombing Iran. And I have a question that kind of comes out to me. Now, someone don't want to hear this, and I don't want to talk football, but just bear with me for a moment. When Hamas attacked Israel, there was worldwide condemnation of them killing 2,000 innocent people, or most of them innocent people, which should be the case, and they get to attack and kill 50-some Palestinians, right? Now, Israel attacked Iran, who hasn't attacked Israel, and yet we don't hear that worldwide condemnation. Because what we're basically saying is that you can be allowed to do certain things to certain people. You have bigger guns, figuratively or literally, and get away with it. And that can't be right. Society got to be better than that. We have to believe that everybody's life is important. It's a short journey, and treat people fairly. That's the first point. Second point, what happened in Gaza right now with starvation and people getting killed is just ridiculous. Third, what's happening in LA with the protestation and Trump and the administration now having National Guard and Marines in LA, and the hypocrisy about this is what happened on January 6th in the Capitol. It does show that human beings a lot of times are just not good people. They're just not good people. Now, this is not condemning all human beings. A lot of people are just not good people. And my aspirations is that we as a people realize that if you do good in life, you'll be okay. Blessings, Kevin Williams, you'll be okay. But if you're evil, it will come back and bite you at some point. And your contradiction and your hypocrisy does manifest itself a lot of times. Now let's move to some football. I'm gonna get myself in trouble. So I'm gonna say before I go further. I did have dinner 2 nights ago with someone in Jamaica. It was a very fruitful dinner. I totally enjoyed the experience, and long may that experience continue. Now, to work up discussion. Bless up chorus. Let me just go through the chat here for the people who have joined. Loud. What do you say loud, Damien? What does that mean? I'm too loud? I have a big mic in front of me, so I can't turn it down. What do you mean by loud? Sorry, I just went on mute. I'm trying to use a mic here so you have to see with me, and I'm trying to make sure I'm in, because I don't have another monitor here, so I'm trying to make sure I'm in the picture, just using my laptop. Security concerns in Cali, the games are not in LA, so I don't think so. I don't think so. And by the way, people, I'm doing the show early today because, excuse me, I'm in Jamaica, and I've got to have some fun, so can't just the football. Cranky for Gensec? No, Cranky ain't gonna be no Gensec. Cranky's a YouTuber. Well, we'll see how long that by the way, people, let me just ask, as you come in, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. I still need 22 people. I'm gonna get me 22, so I'm not no more sure I'm serious about it. It's been going up quite a bit because I've been promoting trying to get it, the number. So I think I need about 22 to get there, to the number. I sound congested. Yeah, I got sick actually. So imagine coming to and my throat is killing me. So you see me drinking a lot of water. Yeah, I'm congested and I'm having some throat issues. I don't know how I come from New York. Well, in Atlanta, New York, and then here. I was doing well. I think it's maybe the AC actually. And it must be dust in the system because I was sick like a dog before the game. And then, well, let me manage that. I wouldn't say sick like a dog. I was not feeling well before the game. My throat was bothering me. I had a slight cold. And then by game time, I was okay. And then after the game, the next morning, I feel terrible again. So I don't know what's happening. If Jamaica don't like me. Bless up Ted Dexter. Bless up Dr. Dan. Water is not a remedy. So Dr. Dan, yeah, doctor, what's the remedy? Is there such thing as a remedy, actually? What remedy there should be? Because I need something. I need help because my throat is killing me. You can hear it in my voice, actually. Bless up, Raja. Brando, how you doing? Tell us about the fruitful dinner. No, we can't talk about. First of all, sorry, people. This is not good. I may have to cut this show short. For me to tell you about the dinner, the person would have to agree that I can talk about the dinner. And even if I did, 90% of the dinner, what we talked about, we wouldn't talk about in this public forum. Sound like allergy to common infection. Yeah, I don't know what it is. But I felt okay this morning a little bit, and now I think the AC has something to do with it. So, Dr. Dan, could the AC, because they hear my voice cracking, right? Could the AC have something to do with it? Bless up Leon Griffiths, Ted Dexter, Kiran said my Chelsea boss, Ty, Roger, Omar, Rob Smith. Bless up Rob. Rob, jump right into the football now. Like, we take your time, man. Hit the like button, people, please. And I say, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. I still need my 22 subscribers. All right, go out of business, and I don't want to do that. So yeah, bless up Nitro. Thanks for joining. Oh, by the way, I want to say this. Somebody named, Jesus, my voice is bad. Somebody named New Wave. Okay, yeah, the AC is kicking my butt, Dr. Dan. I'm telling you. And I have to put the AC on because it's hot. It's hot. Somebody with New Wave dropped a comment in my box saying that I hate Leon Bailey. Let me say this, people. I don't hate anybody, period. Seriously, I don't even hate Trump. I feel pity for Trump because his ass is getting old and he can't handle being getting old. That's why he's so mean. But I don't hate anybody. I'm not in the hating business. And Leon has done nothing for me to hate Leon. I talk about performances. And I try to be as objective as possible when I assess people's performances. I can't tell you play great when you don't play great. And if you're supposed to be the star and on a continuous basis, you don't play well as you expected, then I have to call you out. It's no different from me and the JFF. And I'll just say something about the JFF, actually. I actually get along with most people in JFF, contrary to popular belief. There is nobody in the JFF that I've engaged, even the ones I have conflict with, where we can't communicate and engage, period. Every single person in the JFF, whether it's Ricketts, but no, I call him Mr. Ricketts. Probably the only person in Jamaica I call Mr. Well, it's Mr. Ricketts. For some reason, I have that affinity for the president. But Mr. Ricketts, Dennis Chung, Rudolph, Simon, all of them the JFF that I dealt with. I haven't dealt with Rice Simpson. If I engage them, they engage me. Let me just say that. No matter how much I may beat them on these forums, or people may think I'm being divisive and toxic or whatever they want to call me, I will say this: when I engage them, they engage me. And I try to be very careful. What I say is there are facts involved, or I'm calling things out which I think they need to address, because my hope, my aspiration, my objective is purely for the goodness of football. I ain't doing this because I just like to beat people and get some views. It's purely for the goodness of football. And I think people who are thoughtful and who are fair will say, for the most times, even though Rudolph may get mad at me and saying I am picking on him, and we've had that conversation. Even Rudolph realized that at some point that I would hope actually, that I want the football to do well, and that what I'm trying to do, if I can anyway, is help, right? It's not to be divisive, but I can't stand by and see certain things and not calling out, especially if I want to influence change. So I don't want people to sit here and think, oh, Cranky, he hates this player, hates that player. No, I don't hate Bailey. I was always hoping Bailey would do phenomenally well. And I was hoping that he would be the main person in the team, and it hasn't worked out that way, unfortunately. Okay, Dr. Dan. Well, Dr. Dan, whatever you call in these things, one of my favorite people in the world. So I have to respond to people. I apologize for this. Sorry, people. Getting distracted. I'm looking at 4 devices simultaneously, so you got to forgive me. DC, good morning. Good morning, DC. Thanks for being here. Bless up, Tycoon. Andre Moore, I don't agree with that now. You guys would be surprised. I'm telling you, people, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised that I don't think they want my channel to shut down. I think they would prefer if I was more, what word would I use? More supportive is probably what I would say. Now, I don't think they want me shut down. I don't think they want YouTube to shut down. If you're the JFF people, let's think about this. YouTubers keep JFF and football in the news 24/7. And sometimes even bad news is good news, because that means you're relevant. So I'm not going to say JFF want my channel shut down. To the contrary, I don't think they want to shut down. I think what I get from the JFF is they want a more balanced approach to how we engage with them. They think that, I can't speak for all of them, but something that we like to go viral. So when we beat them, we get more views. And that is true in terms of how that works. But to me, that's not, I don't know about other YouTubers. I can't speak for them. My goal is I always talk to Rudolph about this. It's about transparency. And he always argue about that when we used to have engagement way back when. I always believe if you're more transparent, not your fun. If you're more transparent, people are going to believe you more. They're going to trust you more. They're going to engage you more. If you are covert and are not doing things where people can see and get comfortable with you, then first of all, they won't know what's happening. So they may not know what to think. And if things going south, it makes it worse. There are a lot of things that happen behind the scenes, whether it's for the footballers or for the JFF and others, which we don't have insight into. And sometimes we get insight because people leak things, right? And then you're very surprised about some of those things. And so sometimes when decisions are made, we wonder what transpires and we challenge it and question it, but we don't have all the facts. I'm going to give you an example, but not Jamaica. Look at Ben White for Arsenal, who played for England, right? 2022 World Cup. He went to the World Cup. He left because he had a fallout with Southgate and the squad, but they played this game of not telling the public what who's in charge. He says he's ready for selection, right? There are things that happen behind the scenes, just like in your job, which you can't talk in the public domain. And sometimes you should talk in the public domain. So you can end speculation and you can have clarity. And that doesn't happen a lot of times. This is it. Most YouTubers are keeping fans engaged, especially those of us who are from abroad. I don't think I would be paying as close attention to each game if not for live stream uploads. I am telling you, DC, and here's what's great about it too, DC. You don't have to set some set time. There's so many YouTubers and so much of this, and you get notification. It's not like TV where it comes on at 2:00 every day at a certain point in time. They got to subscribe or ascribe to advertisers' whim. It's a little bit different, right? And also, you can tailor your taste to the YouTuber. You may want some who are much more verbose. You may want some who are much more exciting. You know, much more some who may come across as more cerebral. You will have the taste of what you like, and you can engage those you want to engage based on what your likings are. It makes it very unique. It's like you like certain soap programs, you like certain soap programs. You like certain movies, you like certain movies. So I think that's how it works. That's how people should think about it. Tough Rudy says, I don't think They want you to shut down. They just don't like the positive, negative feedback, just like positive, which doesn't work. Yeah, and hear me call the JFF out about when the under-20 did poorly. We hear zip. You know, people, I still ask the JFF about that, you know. I still question them about that, trust me. But when the under-15 did well in Caribbean, they came out to camouflage the under-20 poor performance. I've always learned this, and when I was in corporate, I learned this. When something goes really bad, you come to market quick as possible. You take full accountability and responsibility. You fall on the sword, and then people are going to have more respect for you. If you go hide and pretend it never happened, then they're going to sit there thinking, you know what, we can't trust these people. We don't want to engage these people. They're not X, Y, Z. So I would suggest a more transparent approach may help. Ezekiel said, watch different YouTubers for different vibes. Yeah. It all depends on what your taste is. I don't believe when you have bad situations. It's like in your personal life, your family or whatever situation, you go hide when something go bad and pretend it didn't happen. You get found out and people just don't trust you anymore, right? And you Jamaican men should know what I'm talking about. But anyway, we won't get into that. By the way, some people, before I get to the football, I had a discussion with someone this morning. And they said I should have some shows. You guys tell me if you support this, because some of them just want to talk football. I should have some shows about religion, my views on religion, and bring on somebody who's versed in religion, because I need to be educated and informed. Do you guys just hit yes or no if you think I should do that? I'm going to do it on my other channel, but I probably on both channels. Because I'm getting grief because I have a certain views. I want certain views about religion and Jesus and all that. I get a lot of beating, especially in my personal life. So I am curious if I should have those discussions, because I want to bring on someone like who's like a pastor or something. I want to have some in-depth discussion about that, because I grew up in the church. Well, that's a stretch. I grew up in the church till I was about 12, 13 years old. Then I divorced the church. I'm be honest. I divorced the church. But I still was on the periphery listening. And then I listened to Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's a scientist who's very eloquent about life and origination of life, even though and then more recently, I'm getting a lot of, as you get more seasoned, people start feeling vulnerable about life and they start getting more religious. I'm not one of them, to be honest, but I want to think about, should I have that discussion? So I'm not going to say religion. I think religion has its place in life, but I want to have those conversations. So if I get support for us to have those shows, I'm going to have those shows. Let's go to the football now. So as you guys know, let me know if you guys can see this well. Man said, no religion, no diversity. Can you guys see this well? It's hard to see, actually. This is the schedule we have. It's very difficult to see this, actually, even for me. This is the schedule we have for the upcoming games. I was trying to pull it up from the Concacaf site, but it's not doing well, so I try to upload it. For the Jamaica schedule, can you see this? There are different match days. It's September window, October and November windows, and different groups. I may have to pull this down and just go for the website. I don't like how this looks, actually. I'm going to have to go to the website and try to pull it up and then run through it. But the website wasn't showing it well, actually. So I struggled with it this morning, trying to upload it. But just to say, there are 3 windows. Actually, somebody sent me something, so I'm probably use this. No, the one you just sent me, Chemo, it's still the same thing. Actually, you know what? Somebody just sent me something which is better. Yeah, maybe I can use this, actually. No, this still doesn't work. I'll just read through it, actually. As you know, we have 3 teams in our zone. And everything I see nowadays, people, is Jamaica go World Cup. Me see Oral Tracy drop some videos, sub sting, me see. Now I say with YouTuber drop some videos so we Ghana World Cup. People, let's try to have eat some humble pie first. Right? So why are we gonna play if we are at the World Cup already? Do we have a great chance of going? Definitely. Do we think we have the best team in the zone? Definitely. Are we getting some additional support? We expect. Yes, it is. A lot of positives in our favor. And I don't think the Gold Cup is going to give us any inclination or people think Gold Cup going to be the way we blend and show us where we are. I don't think so. We have been extremely inconsistent, right? Just go through our record. Whether it's BVI, whether it's Cuba, whether it's two St Vincent game, whether it's not the Guatemala game. Guatemala and Nigeria gave us a lot of confidence. I don't think Trinidad, I don't think BVI, I don't think St Vincent, I don't think Dominica, I don't think Dominican Republic. None of those gave us confidence, right? Now, one can say the team is evolving since we played some of those games. We have a lot of new people coming in. The greatest thing about our team is, and the coach mentioned this at the last press conference, and I think he's been emphasizing this more and more, is we have competition for places, right? So most people, not everyone, most people can get benched and we still keep going. If you play forward or in the wing, your game is vulnerable. If you play midfield, unless you're Hayden, your game is vulnerable. If you play defense, unless you're possibly, and I say possibly Pinnock, your game is vulnerable. Goalkeeper set. So you know me, I was saying before, it's 5 or 4, which is set, which was Blake, Pinnock, Hayden, and Cephas. I'm saying only 3 right now. Blake, Hayden, and possibly, and I say possibly Pinnock because Pinnock is injury prone, frankly. Right? But we have cover. We have Oldgate, we have Lowe, we have King, we have cover. Here's also what's going to happen. In the next 3 windows, as we go to the World Cup, some regulars are going to drop out the team. We have to show compassion and support for those who will make the final squad, both in the next window and throughout the process to get to the World Cup. It's a natural evolution of the process, and that's the expectation. So Bailey's a given. What do you mean, TD? Did you hear what I just said, TD? I said he had 3 givens, or 2.5 given. The only 3 given I have is Blake, Pinnock, and Hayden. There ain't no other given in the team to me, as far as I'm concerned. What do you mean, man of God? Explain that to me. Oh, you mean because of my voice? I don't drink rum, people. Maybe I drink too much. I've been eating poorly since I've been in Jamaica. They have this, I don't eat a lot of processed food, but I went to this store called S in Kingston, and they made some carrot cake and some blueberry cake, and I don't want to talk about it. It's been bad. I've been eating it like crazy. Jamaica have a lot of bad processed food, which I grew up on and which I've gone back to, which is not good. But it's really bad, actually. I've been eating horribly. But I've eaten a lot of salmon here, which is good. A lot of salmon and things which I shouldn't be eating. But anyway, let's keep to the football. Martin Baker says, true cranky, some people talk about cutoff time like a friend thing. They're not watching national football. The teams always want the best. Yes, no. Look, people are going to fall out of form. People are going to get injured. People are going to do bad things and have bad behavior and not in the team. Right? Determine. You don't have to, some people, hey, people, let me tell you something. I live my life by certain principles, so I must stick by them. And sometimes some of you guys say something and I have to laugh at you because you don't have the information. You say something sometimes and I have to laugh because if you knew certain things, you'd be like, damn. The coach told you what he's doing. The coach has been telling us certain things and you guys haven't been listening. The coach told you after the US game, the team ain't good enough. You got to go get 6-7 players. He went out and got that. The coach told you there's competition places. Right? He's trying to tell you something. You're not listening. You're not listening, people. Damari Gray told you Cephas took his position. And some people say he's being facetious. No, he's not. Cephas took his position. Yeah, I bought some ginger tea, Tarek Rodriguez. Thank you. I'm going to take some when I'm done with this feed, actually. A friend of mine called me from New York, and he's been raving about Jamaica. I got to tease him, though. because he's moving to another island, right, in the Caribbean. And I said to him yesterday, I said, hey, my youth, it looked like Jamaica around this at him say, yes, it looks so. Because he came to Jamaica a month ago and he's been pressuring me to go around the island, not just being one location. He's like telling me about all these locations, these buildings, whatever. And I must admit, I'm impressed so far. So I'll keep going around. As soon as I do the stream, I'm on the road. Bless up Sherman Scott, because Jamaica is impressing me in a lot of different ways. Streets are clean. You can't eat on the street, I'm interrupted. But anyway, so let me keep going. And people, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. I haven't asked this. I'm in an Airbnb. I asked the person this morning to subscribe because I really want to continue this program and I'm trying to get to my 3,000 because I have to stick to my principles. So if I don't get there, I'm not going to do it. She says she's going to subscribe. So when she come back, I ask her again. If you subscribe. I mean, you ask a pastor, but if you subscribe, you ask everybody to subscribe. They don't have to stay on my channel and watch me. They don't have to subscribe. And none of them look good. But it's very important people realize that the coach have been telling us certain things and something we don't want to hear and we don't want. He's sometimes telling you the team is not strong enough. Have elevated themselves like a Warner Brown. He's sometimes telling us which players indirectly may not be in his team. Now, I'll say this. By the way, I'm going to say this, and it's not being arrogant, and it's not being whatever. I was told indirectly, so those of you who say, boy, Dave have not like YouTubers and a lot of other stuff, I was told indirectly by somebody, I must use indirectly, that YouTubers have influence. Right? I was told indirectly, YouTubers have influence. Now, if I told you I was told indirectly, it doesn't mean, it means it comes from a source, which is a credible source. I can't answer this. Sorry about that, people. I was told by a source, let me turn this phone on. I was told by a source that YouTubers have influence, a very good credible source. So I walk away, bless up Jason Gooner. I walk away smiling, say, all this work that Jason Gooner and all these other YouTubers are doing does have benefits to the football program and just the island in general. It's not just YouTubers who do football. It's YouTubers in general who are covering various topics across the island and have more influence than sometimes people realize that they have. Because life is about information and dissemination of information. And whatever source you get it from, if you respect the source, you're going to leverage that information, right? Which is important. So I would expect that I would ask YouTubers actually, because the other day I said we should just boycott the news conference. And I did boycott one news conference. And then I was accused of being hypocritical and easily influenced. I can take my beating and I should be beaten. It's true. But I had my reason for wanting to boycott because I just think we need to get respect as a media outlet and not just be sort of dismissed and disregarded, even though sometimes people are not as transparent as they should be, because if I'm getting from good source that we have influence, sometimes those sources may say in the public domain that we don't have any influence, which I find interesting. No, I haven't done that, El Granero. So I need to, as you guys know, I've become another hypocrite by moving from just being I moved from vegan to vegetarian to pescatarian, but I'm not going to eat meat. So that's as far as I'm going. That's as far as I'm going. Best of Float Management. Thanks for checking in. Hey, Float. I thought you came to the game, Float. I saw Errol and QC and a bunch of other people, but I didn't see you, Float. But look, if we think about where we are and the games we have to play, one, the JFF has an unbelievable opportunity to take advantage of the current situation and maximize it. Unbelievable opportunity. Two, the fans or the peripheral fans or the bandwagonists, because a lot of us are bandwagonists, frankly, as fans, will be so, if the information gets out the right way, will be so motivated, will be so encouraged, especially if we start off well, the brand will become so ubiquitous that the JFL will be printing money, and all of us would be so happy with euphoria around the possibility of, because when you're in the World Cup, people, you're one of 48 teams or whatever, maybe just over 50 going to have there. Think about all the 200 plus countries in the world. You're one of those. You're one of the smaller countries. And here's what's going to happen. So if we get to the World Cup, some of you are like, what do you mean if we get to the World Cup? When we get to the World Cup? If we get to the World Cup, our expectations now are going to increase. As soon as we get there, we're no longer want to be like, oh, we're just here. We're happy to be here. We're going to be talking about, okay, what zone we get in, what area we get in, who we need to beat to get to the next round. Because people are going to be like cataract. We want to win the World Cup, right? Which to me is not really feasible, to be frank. But we saw Morocco go very far last time. And that should be encouraging for any country with aspirations to get to the World Cup. So, as we talk about the last game against Guatemala, and people like Jason going to do a good job of sort of tactically breaking down how we play, what we do in the game, I'll say a couple of things. Because obviously I was at the stadium, but my glasses weren't working as well as they should, so I was challenged. But I did observe some things, which is, I've always said this, more recently actually. When I look at our team and the composition of our team, I still think the middle needs help. I think we have an abundance of offensive players. I don't think we have an abundance of players who at a certain level differentiating quality to get us to a certain place we need to get to, especially in the midfield. I am very comfortable with my goalkeeper. I am somewhat comfortable with my central defense, and I say somewhat. I'm going to be more comfortable with my left back situation in September. I am very comfortable with Lati at right back. And I've said this numerous times. I think Lati is our best defender. Doesn't mean he's the best at defending. But if you think about the totality, what the role entails, especially in the current environment where people play inverted, and given I play the midfield, and given how aggressively he plays at right back, I think he's going to compete for that position or be the right back going forward, frankly. If I look in the midfield, I think Hayden is solid, but my concern about Hayden, will he be overworked? Because he's now going north of 30. He's had a bad ACL injury that kept him out for a long time. When he first came, he got a lot of beating. Good enough. People like Maverick, what's the people them? When I look at money I come from, he and Oldgate, good enough. And I wasn't supporting Oldgate as much because I watched Oldgate play. Oldgate played for Everton a long time. He's a good footballer, but Oldgate hasn't learned. There are two of our defenders who, over time, are so aggressive and get so much yellow and red card. They just need to calm down and play more cerebral football versus just kick the ball, right? But if I look at Hayden, he was at Arsenal. He actually used to play centre-half when he was at Arsenal. He went after left the academy to go to Newcastle, and he was a CDM for a long time for a Premier League team. He's a Premier League footballer for all his life until he got a really bad injury. Newcastle got better. They got bought. And when he came back, his service was no longer required. But now he's getting back to his best. And you watch him play, he understands the level of competence, which is very important for us to do well. If you go further up in the midfield, Jonathan Russell, very good footballer. He has improved to me significantly, even though Chris Smith disagrees with me. He thinks he's probably a similar player, but I think Jonathan has gotten better physically and is much more expressive footballer. But he needs competition. He's not the 8. That's clear. He needs competition. And then we go to the 10. I don't know who our 10 is. I don't know if Gray's a 10. I don't know if Palmer is a 10. I think the coach wants Gray on the field, so he found a position for him. I have been advocating for Gray for a long time now to be the 10. And my main reason for Gray to be the 10 is for a couple of reasons. One is he can shoot without a foot. 2 is he can make very good passes. And 3 is he's poor defensively, so I want to hide him in the 10. And 4 is when Gray doesn't get to touch the ball a lot, Gray loses interest. So what happens is, if you watch him on the wing sometimes, and see him in the game, you don't realize the midfield is not getting him the ball. Now, when he's playing 10, when you're playing 10, you can be you have a lot of freedom to go where you want to go. That's similar to how Rabbit plays. So therefore, you can go get the ball. You can't complain about not getting the ball. You go get the ball. And he's doing more of that. You watch him in the game, he's one of the better players because he's very, very technical, right? But it's grade 10 we need because Gray doesn't really play defense, to be honest, people. And you need all your players to play defense in today's football. So it's grade 10, it's Palmer 10. What I found interesting about Palmer the last game was because Palmer doesn't really play defense either. But he was running around like how Dixon come on the field and running around like he's like a madman, but a very enthusiastic. You're a young puppy. He just out there running around, just trying to get to the ball and pressuring everybody. That's how Palmer came on and played the other day because his game is at risk. He's no longer surety. And the coach will be in a great position to mandate that everybody buying, or you go sit your butt down because you know what? We have replacement. Ralph Smith said, I don't think Russell's gotten better. I think we just found his position. No, maybe that's right. He said he's played all three positions. So you guys probably know more than him. I don't watch him as much as you guys do. Don't disagree, Jason, but I think Gray on the wing, and Gray doesn't really, and that's why Sam Dyche got rid of Gray, because Gray doesn't play both ways. That's why Mike Neal took his spot. All right, so it's bless up Lee Young. Thanks for being here. The Palmer does more defensive work than we give him credit for when he plays for Jamaica. No, I don't agree with you. Palmer escort people into the last game we played. You go watch those games, Jason. Escort people into our box. He's not putting a foot in as much as he should. Because you're a better defensive player than Gray doesn't make you a good defensive player. Right. So let's go to the forward line. No, and I had this in my comments for this program. Warner Brown has been sensational since he's joined. Right? You just think about Warner Brown games. Don't count the Unity Cup because he didn't get much time. And that it also advocates well for the JPL. Let's be honest. Right? Let's be honest. Because a lot of people, including yours truly a lot of times, are very concerned about inclusion of certain JPL players. And when they play, we don't see the level of competence and technical skill and ability to afford them game, and we get frustrated because we just want the best team out there. Right? Now, Warner Brown has come in. And what I like about Warner Brown is he's not a one-dimensional footballer. Because I liked when he played against St Vincent in the second game. The first game, he got a penalty. He came on late. The second game, he only touched the ball 12 times. I think he got 10 accurate passes. But what was important in that game is that it was his composure. Now, what's strange about it? He scored 2 goals he shouldn't score, and he missed 2 goals that he should score, which is a little bit interesting, actually, and sort of almost contradictory in nature. But I do think he has solidified himself currently to be the starting center forward until proven otherwise. Okay, Jason. Well, maybe I focus on the negative, Jason, because I watched. Which game did I watch where the team scored? I think it may have been the Nigeria game, one of those games, and I was like, it's more than one game actually. And I've gotten some information to say, he needs to play more defense. Let me just put it that way. He needs to play more defense. Jason, he's gonna play a lot of defense. Hey, people. When your game is at risk and you know why your game is at risk, you either change the game or you go sit on the bench. And right now, I think if you're a Palmer, if you're a Lambakisa, if you are Leon Bailey, if you are Dixon, right? I'm trying to go to a list of players who may be on the team or preferred team. Come September, your game is in danger. Now, you guys may look at me like I'm crazy when I mention like Liam Bailey in the mix, but Bailey's a good footballer. But when you compare Bailey's, and by the way, we have people like Tyrese Campbell have come in who haven't got much game time yet. And Tyrese may or may not be in the team come September. That's just my view on some of these things when I think about what players are going to be out there, right? Decisions have to be made about what players you bring and not bring. And he hasn't been given a chance yet, so we'll see. But what normally happens, people, is this. When we go to the Unity Cup and people in England see and players see, when we're in the last round of World Cup qualifiers, when the brand and prominence become much more visible and much more apparent and is being showcased, everybody who have Jamaican affiliation, they don't have to be Jamaican, you know, are excited, including potential players. I've been espousing the view and proposing the view that I would love to see Dwight McNeil from Everton and Ramsey from Villa being in the team, because I do think those two individuals, given who else is coming, not only put us over the top, we have much more strength in numbers. I don't know about Hutchinson, and I'm not proposing for Hutchinson to come back. I don't think Hutchinson can get into this team, actually. And if Hutchinson's not starting, I'm not sure he handles that well. So I'm not proposing for Hutchinson to come back. I don't think we need Hutchinson. I think we will have enough players with enough capability. If he comes, he comes, but I'm not sure the coach would even have him in his starting lineup. In fact, I don't think he would, actually. The players who are playing really well, I don't care what league they're playing in. The competition they're playing against is the same competition. If they're JPA players and they're hitting the ball off the cover and they're producing really well and they're competing really well and they're producing, then I don't really care. They should be in the team and they should be playing. And if you're a Premier League player, you're not playing well, then you should be on the bench. It's 23-man squad. Everybody, it should be equitable opportunity in terms of getting a chance to play or not. And if the players who are playing well, I don't care if they play in League One, Premier League, Championship, JPL, they should be playing. If they're playing well, if they're defending well, if they're rolling through the midfield well, if they're scoring and assisting, then they should play. Earn your game. All right? Earn your game. Earn your game. Don't use your pedigree and your reputation to have your game. So back to Warner Brown. I think Warner Brown has proven that, at least at this point, he's going to have competition, right? He should be starting center forward. Regardless of, I don't know, Claudia knows who beat me on this, regardless of Antonio, regardless of Romario Williams, regardless of whoever it comes, he's a starter until proven otherwise. That's how life should be as it relates to when you're doing a job. Now, I'm showing Antonio, the coach loves Antonio, by the way. But he's coming off a really bad injury. He's not the most consistent goal scorer. He seemed like he's extremely positive for the team. Because just like how Tuchel says he's going to keep Henderson in his team, you need those senior mature players in your team to hold the team together, especially for adversity. I think Jamaica should do a couple of things when it comes to this. Somebody says Modesel should, let me put this up. Modesel should be in the team. Let me just say a couple of things. One is, there are two players who should be either in the team or prefer the team. One should be Modesel, and one should be Brandon Cover. We don't have a 6. Now, Russ Zagan played the 6. We don't have a 6. I have gotten good report on Brandon Cover, by the way. Very good report from very good sources on Brandon Cover when he was at the Unity Cup, even though he didn't play 1 minute of any game. There are certain people who were there who were very impressed with him and probably were surprised he didn't get any game. And not a lot of you follow Brandon more than I do, actually. But we need a backup 6. We have to have contingencies for every single scenario and situation. We got a backup for Blake. I think Jamal Wade is good backup. Lambert Keys is a good backup for Ladibadir. So we're going to be like, what are you talking about? Lambert is starter. No, he's not anymore. You know, King, Lowe, Pinnock. We need another center half. I don't think Bernard going to make the squad. I hate to say that. Left back, we have Greg Lee. We have Amari Bell. I think that's an interesting construct there, situation there. So in the midfield, we need a backup for we can utilize other players to supplement our midfield, like the 8 and the 10. Palmer can play the 10. We can put, and by the way, we haven't people. Here's one thing we haven't talked about. We haven't talked about Bobby Reed, you know. It's amazing how out of sight, out of mind is going to be. So when Bobby Reed come back, you think Bobby Reed about starting place in this team, people? You think about the team. No one talking about Bobby Reed. You talk about Antonio, not Bobby Reed. Now, Bobby Reed is one of the most versatile players in the team. But right now, the way the team is constructed, Emil Smith-Rowe Winston is not eligible to play for Jamaica. He's capped out for England. I confirm that. Bobby Reed will probably be a backup 8 to Russell for the time being. And Bobby Reed probably shouldn't be in the squad because he's been injured and takes a while to. He should just spend time recovering and try to make sure he has a contract where he's trying to play in this window at the Gold Cup. I know for some players it's important, but I don't think he should. But Bobby Reed right now, if you pick a team today, I'm going to ask you guys, yes or no, would Bobby Reed be a starter? No, we don't want Lati as no backup 6 tycoon. We want Lati at right back. And that's important as we go forward, actually. Someone like Brandon probably should be backup 6. Yeah, Bobby Reed would be in the squad, Jason Gooner. The question is he a starter? I have heard zero about Nelson Marvin. But some people are going to join the bandwagon later. I haven't heard anything about Nelson, period. I know Nelson was in Jamaica a year or so ago, and there was a lot of hoopla. And I was told that Nelson is thinking about his papers. Well, he's been thinking too long. I don't think Nelson would start in the team anyway. The way the coach operates. Now, I like Nelson. He's a good player. Plays for my club, but I don't know. TD said Bobby won't start. No, I don't think Bobby's a starter anymore. Not the way Russell's playing. And the only place that Bobby have in the team right now, well, Bobby can play the 10 too, you know. Bobby can play the 10 or the 8. But given the composition of the team, would you play Bobby in the 10 or the 8, given Russell and Gray and Palmer? So now you have 4 players fighting for a 2 slot, which is really interesting. The point, the very obvious and important point is the quality is improving. Bobby Reed at one point was an automatic starter, no doubt. Right wing, 10, 8. Hardest worker on the team. Here, best servant. If I was a coach, I would have a slot for Bobby Reed in the World Cup squad, regardless of who coming in. And I'm reserving 2 or 3 slots for certain players who may not be the best players, may even have difficulty getting game time, but they're in my team. Because I got, 23, 26 people. Yes, he can, Conrad, but he's not great. He's not great at any good position. And we love Bobby, actually, right? But I'm not sure Bobby can start in this team. So you guys tell me who he would start over. Some of you guys are saying, no, Bobby this and Bobby that. Who would he start over in this current team as constituted? Because we have Steve Foss, Tyrese, Bailey currently, right? I don't think I'm mixing Dixon. I think Dixon will be struggling to stay in this team, at least out wide. And we may have Mason coming in September. So where would Bobby's place be? Right? Bobby's on the bench. We may not like it, but he's on the bench. And if you have Bobby coming off your bench, that means your team has gotten better. And I know the coach is feeling better about the team. I think when he was asked the question by Eddie Gooner about where he was from scale of 1 to 10, he mentioned 6, 7. Who is my 11? I can't tell you my 11 because my 11 doesn't include there are certain players who will be the team who are in my 11 who I can't talk about. So I can't talk about my 11. Maybe it's possible when I get closer to when we're going to have the September window to talk about it. But right now, I have an 11, but I cannot mention my 11 because it's going to surprise a lot of people. So I can't mention my 11. But I have an 11, trust me. It's going to be a good 11. I think we're going to be very impressed. Some players may not come in and start right away, right? The coach is going to be loyal to some of those who were here before. But by the October window, we'll have 4 or 5 different players in this team. And some good players are going to find themselves on the bench. What should I stop, Warren? What should I stop? If you want a Gold Cup 11 or World Cup Qualifier 11, we're talking about World Cup Qualifier. We're not talking Gold Cup. By the way, people, 2 things. One is, if you haven't hit the like button, please do so. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And if you haven't shared the link, please do so. So I can get I need 22 subscriber people in the next day. So I need don't have me go walk in Montego Bay on the street begging for subscribers. Please get my 20 subscribers. If you know somebody who would like to watch football and don't mind being pained by me, just tell them to subscribe. And tell them it's Cranky with a K, because I know a lot of people always put Cranky with a C. I tell them about my channel. Because I do some legwork to get subscribers. And some of them watch and they like it, actually. What do you mean cranky gatekeeping, Jam Up? What the order says, Ross Smith, if you hear two of the names, your mind will game raw. You will drive Warner back to Jamaica. No, Warner Brown gonna be the team for a little while, Peter. Look, let me say something, people. When you scored 3 goals in a couple of games, you got a penalty, and you're quick and you're fit and you're running well and you're playing well, you should be rewarded. Until the problem you have, your leash is going to be shorter, right? So if you're Warner Brown, you're not going to be given the same latitude like an Antonio gets, which is not fair, but that's life. Yeah, I got subscribers active. I got a lot of subscribers in the last week, more than I normally get for different reasons. By the way, people, I have to say this again. It was really difficult in the stadium for me to broadcast the game. And I'm gonna complain to certain authority members because there weren't enough cheers for the media at the game, even though we were treated well. And getting the stadium was fine. But I did interview you guys who watch me. It was very difficult and very loud. I could barely hear myself. I will say this again to Leighton Levy to thank him for coming and doing that impromptu interview. He was very, very good, by the way. I don't know if you guys could have heard him because I struggled to hear him. And he was right beside me. And I asked him to come and he did. And he had some very good points about the team. The one that stood out to me is him saying that this team is better than the 98 team. He thinks this team is better than the 98 team. Which I find interesting. Right? Who do I expect to come in September? I'm not mentioning any names, but there are 4. Everybody keeps saying, Cranky, your number keep changing. Because the situation is this. So, look, people, let me just say this. There are players who want to come and play for Jamaica sometimes, but they don't understand the process to get naturalized. And also, when they go through the process, it's frustrating as you know what, like really frustrating. Damari Gray took 2 years to get his papers, you know. So sometimes we start talking about a player. Say I start talking about a player now, and you guys are like, oh, Cranky said this person is coming. Because the process started, and then it take them 2 years. The problem they're having is this. So they used to be an office in Birmingham, which people filed through. Then information got to go to London, come to Jamaica. Stuff get lost in the mail. Or they go to London in the High Commission and stuff get lost in the mail. And some people don't have the resources to go to Jamaica to get naturalized. It's people have this misconception about England as if England is this rich country, especially for migrants, and they have the resources that people in America do. That's not the case. And first of all, it's very expensive to fly from England to Jamaica. And it's a long journey, and they don't have the resources. And some people are like, well, they play in the Premier League. Well, yeah, for the more senior persons, the more senior players, but for the junior ones who are interested in the national team, their parents don't have the resources. And so I'm supposed to interview 2 parents. I may not interview them, but I'm going to get their information because I spoke to them recently. They filed for papers in 2022. We're in 2025. They hear nothing back. They heard back something from some people, and there are 2 players who want to play for Jamaica. So wait. They want to play under 17. Players are now 18, going on 19. It's not funny, and the parents are frustrated. The players are frustrated. One of the players has had, my understanding, interest from England, Wales, and Scotland because they have all this affiliation, but they want to play for Jamaica. So it's really interesting. Now, when they go to England, Jason, people don't realize I have a lot of family in England. They ain't rich, even though I'm not rich by the way. Because I don't think my crank is rich, but. Okay, you can get a council house free from the government and get some other things, but it's a struggle. A struggle for a lot of people. The U.S. is much more resources in the U.S. and people do much better here. And it's much closer. You get a cheap ticket to come to Jamaica. It's not the same. So part of the problem is the JFF needs to have a system, just like FIBA does, the Basketball Association, or I hear about things like lacrosse, where they have a representative that engages with, that links with PICA. That's why you hear so many NBA players now, whether it's Powell or the Thompson twins or Bonds from Toronto. There's so much of them now and great players that they may not be able to satisfy the FIBA rule for all of them, but Jamaica would have a good basketball team. It could be a similar thing for football, except we don't have that contact or that agreement, MOU between the JFF and PICA about the naturalization process. So it's a much more draconian process and one that is a problem for individuals who have aspirations to play for Jamaica. Now, so let's finish the Warner Brown conversation, which is this. I think Warner Brown has done enough to be the starter for the team until he proves otherwise. I don't think anybody should sit here talking about, well, you know, Antonio has his pedigree now. Antonio got to go prove himself now. That's what happened in life, right? You get a chance, you take a chance. You should be given the chance to show what you can do. Let me go back to some comments here. Odell says, Cranky, if you're in the express conference, don't forget to blast them on this division about local and international things. Yeah, hey, you know something, Odell, great point you're making. Hey, people, let me say this. I'm dead serious. If I'm ever in another press conference and some person have this divisive rhetoric about local versus diaspora, I am going to make sure that they're called out. I'm dead serious about that. Now, you can ask about a local player. You can ask about a diaspora player. But if you're going to have this narrative about JPL versus overseas or whatever, that conversation, you can have it, but don't be understanding that you're going to be called out. I'm going to forget whatever question I plan to ask. And I'm going to tell the coach, don't answer those stupid questions anymore. No, I always say tell. I'm going to ask the coach. Say, Coach, when are you going to get tired of that stupid question? Aren't you supposed to pick? Because the coach mentioned meritocracy the last game. And they're putting pressure on the coach about the local versus diaspora. They're pressuring the coach. So then the coach feels an obligation to satisfy the local community about in that conversation. That don't need to be anymore, people. We have players who were born in Jamaica. We have a bunch of players born in Jamaica in the team, and we have a bunch born overseas. They're all citizens. Get over yourself. You got to come back. Hey, Conrad, if you come back strong and better, it's better for the team. But you better come back better because the 0-1 to me used to have great goals, but not enough goals. And if I have a hungry forward up there scoring goals, what can I say? If I think about the last game, what I love about the game at the stadium we had against Guatemala was I love the inverted played by Lati. Right? I love Lati playing that inverted, which then resulted almost like a double pivot. So then we had more people in the midfield, and we can hide people more like Gray defensively. And Lati has the ability to play the inverted, but recover on the right side of the field, which is very, very important. And then you can have Gray, King or somebody else sort of sweeping over more to the right because they're athletic enough to do that cover. So the coach did show some strategic acumen to me in the game. He needs to show more of that. I love coaches who have the ability to not only just put a team on the field with instructions, but to also adapt during the game. I say this numerous times. I was so disappointed. And me and Errol Phillips, Errol may not let me call him out on the show, but Errol Phillips is a friend who actually is one of those supporters who go to almost every single game, whether they're playing in Nicaragua, BVI, Jamaica. He was at the game the other day, and we went to dinner the same night of the game, and we were talking about the same thing. And he and I were sitting in the same place. We couldn't believe we played the U.S. and Robinson running wild on the left, that the coach made no adjustment. And some people were saying, well, the right back was out of position. Right back can't cover three people. So when Robinson's overloading, somebody's always going to be free. That's what assistants also should be helping the coach. Because sometimes coaches are thinking about so many different things. People should be given designated roles on the bench to do certain. the one person's job is to focus on the defense, on the offense, on the keeper, on whatever it is, the other team. People should give him roles and responsibilities to work out so they can bring this thing to the coach. Because the coach have so much things to think about, right? So it's not just the coach and his assistant. But I was very disappointed in that. And my understanding is that McClaren is an extremely organized coach, a very professional coach. I can't say I know a lot about his tactical and strategic way in terms of how he operates. Yeah, Bert, Errol Phillips from Brooklyn, yeah. Errol go almost every game. So if you don't see him in Brooklyn, Bert, he's at a game someplace. And he was at the game. We went to dinner with someone at AQ. AQ was in BVI. Wherever I go, if I go to Texas, they're in Texas. I bet they're going to go to California. I'm not going to California. Yeah. You're calling out Gordon. Who is Gordon? Oh, no, I'm not calling out anybody, Conrad. I'm just calling out what I think should be done. I'm not calling out any person because here's the question. McClaren has more than one assistant coaches, you know. He has the goalkeeper coach. He has, what's his name that's to play for England? Is it Sims? But what's his name? Play right wing for England. Can't remember his name now, the forward. He has a bunch of assistant coaches. Each coach needs to have a role. It's not just in practice. They need to have a game role. I am thinking about the Austin game, Float. Hey, Float, here's my problem, Float. This is my second or third flight. No, this is my second flight. So I was in Atlanta 2 weeks ago. I'm here now. And my question is, can I really stomach another flight to go to Austin? But I'm thinking about it. I was hoping I could just like go to Atlanta and then drive to Austin. And then I check the distance. It's like driving from New York to Atlanta. So I don't know. We'll see. But I would love to go. I also need to get some media pass for some of these games, actually. I like the media pass. It gives you some access that you don't normally have. Dr. Dancer, pull up to Cali. You know something? I took the train to California about a month ago. I know it took 3 days, people, 3 days. How come the US don't have bullet trains like they have in Japan and China? That's like ridiculous. As I would jump on a train tomorrow. It's much more expensive than first class. Let me just digress, people. You know that is more expensive on the train than from New York to LA and back. And you have to sort of switch trains. It's more expensive than flying first class to LA and back. In fact, it's 2 times the price. 2 times the price if you have a private car, I should say that, because I can't sit on coach for 3 years. But if you want to write or do some stuff, you can take the private car and go to LA. You got to stop in Chicago for like 4 or 5 hours. But it's much more expensive than first class flying to LA and back, no matter what airline you take. Because I don't like to fly. That's why I do that. I don't like flying. But I'm doing it nowadays because I love my football. So am I watching the subscription? No, you know what? Let me put it, people. When I came in the program, I needed 22 subscribers. So let me see how much. If I got one from this show, let me see what they know. Yeah. Hey, people. First of all, people, thank you. I need 4 more. This is amazing, actually. People, just tap your dog and tell it to pick up on the phone and subscribe. I need 4 more to get to my 3,000, so I don't have to eat my words, people. I need 4 more subscribers. Ricardo, it is awesome. I need 4 more people. I know my brother and some of the people are trying to save me. So people are reaching out to people last night, calling friends to subscribe for me. They text me and tell me. So people, I don't take this lightly. I truly appreciate your support, each and every one of you. So if we have 300 people on the chat, just reach out to somebody and then subscribe so we can get to the 3,000 and we can shut up and move on with the program. Here's another thing, people. Here's my hope. Football or sports is a catalyst in life in general. I'm in Jamaica now, and I'm so pleased with some things. When you're outside Jamaica, you hear about the murder thing 24/7. That's all you see. I not seen nothing since me there. And my nephew was giving me a hard time. My nephew goes to UTech, right? And he was like, I was saying to him, we had a long conversation. You know what he told me, people? I must tell you something personal. He said to me, uncle, I can't talk to you on the phone, but when me and you talk in person, great. So I gotta work on my phone manners because I don't know what the hell I'm saying that's not working. But he said to me this. He was like, "What crime you talking about?" Like he's living in this bubble. He's like, "Yeah, it happens, but what you guys are hearing, man, I'm gonna put it in my own words, is not as realistic as you think it is, right?" I know crime has dropped about 40% in the last year, and you wonder if it's just election year and the method's been employed. But I do think, given technology, the government can. Right, look, we shouldn't be fooled, people. Not to go off on this tangent about the economic situation and all that. We have to improve people's lives. Everybody should deserve to have a decent life while they're on this earth. Everybody should deserve to have a decent life. Nobody should be left behind in terms of trying to improve themselves economically, living-wise. We should all find a way to help each other to be better people and better in terms of them ability to feed themselves and clothe themselves and live in a decent environment. That should be an aspiration for everyone. And so even though when I'm here and I see all these new cars and these buildings going up and all that, I'm asking myself, the average salary I understand in Jamaica is about, what, $1,000 a month US? They can't afford them cars. Sorry. And these houses. So that means foreigners are the ones who are buying up a lot of these things. We have to allow and enable people who live here to have a good life. And we can't be having this camouflage of everything being great because some get a chance to live in a certain environment and others don't get the benefits of what life's supposed to provide to all of us. So I hope that, and it's just not like, this is not just a government thing. Jamaica need more industries. Jamaica should not, let me hit my last point on this before I go back to the football. Jamaica should not have cars that utilize fossil fuel or utilize gas. Let me say this again. Jamaica should not have cars which use gas as a means of energy for the car to move. I'm sorry. When you have all this sunshine, you should not need no damn gas to go around. They should all be electric vehicles. So they can put infrastructure in place to charge your vehicles. Because the place is hot, people. And if you keep destroying the environment with fossil fuel, then what's going to happen is you can't live here, right? You're going to live in AC like I'm doing and getting all challenged physically because of it. So my hope is that, and we always talk about the government, and God will provide. You're going to provide for yourselves. So I don't want to get into the religion thing, but I want you to think about improving your own situation. You know what? I'm going to check my subscription every 2 minutes. That's what I get past about 3,000 get out of my life. Let me see where I am now, people. Let me see where I am. Boom! So you should be excited. I'm past the 3,000. So we can't stop talking about that now. First of all, let me not be ungrateful. And I know Jason Guna beat me about this. I was playing a game. I wasn't playing a game, Jason. I was dead serious. I was getting very frustrated. So I'm at 3,008 people. First of all, thanks each of you for helping me to achieve my 3,000 goal. I truly appreciate it. So I can shut up now and move on and still do Reggae Boyz football, even though I'm going to do other things. I'm going back to work, people. I should mention that to you. I'm going back to work, but it's not corporate. It's YouTube. Now, people say, what do you mean you're going back to work? Because I'm going to take this as a full-time job. Float management. There are some people who have to get special mention. Number one has to be Drew Ross. I don't think I've ever done a Drew Ross, even though I've seen today that he hasn't been on my program. Now, there's a bunch of other people. Triple E, Tycoon, Eco Reads, Love One. You know, when I start calling names, I get myself in trouble. Right? Winston, Big Deal. So many people. It's been great. Reggae Boyz says, you have to go to Jamaica and see it for yourself. I learned that a long time ago. Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. So let me just say something before I go, people. So I had dinner with Rudolph Speed. Because I know many of you think that Rudolph Speed and I hate each other. That's so far from the truth. It's ridiculous. Rudolph Speed and I met. I won't talk about what we talked about. Because if I'm going to talk about what we talked about, I'd have to ask Rudolph permission. That's how I live my life. But Rudolph and I met Rudolph and I agreed to, I reached out to Rudolph and says, I'm coming to Jamaica. You want to have dinner? And he said, you know, Rudolph is very, he's not very verbose with roads sometimes, except when he's on the radio talking. He said, okay, right? Very short. So I called him when I was in Jamaica and I said, at this hotel, and he made a joke. And then he said, I'm in a meeting, because you know he runs a credit union. I'll come join you 8:00. And he texted me before 8 and said, I can't come because AJ meeting, you and I like get a rain check. Can we do 8:47? I said, no, 8:40 is fine. Because I was watching the Indiana game anyway. Right. So I had time to pass. And he came down 8:40. I didn't know who won the game. We got into a very involved discussion from 8:40 to we closed the hotel, seriously, almost 12:00. We talked about every and anything, no stones unturned. The conversation was extremely amicable, people. You may think that we talked about it. There was no stone unturned. We talked about a lot of things. It was really a fruitful and a very good conversation. Now, some of you are going to say, yes, he's cranky. I want to sell out to the star. See it? In my move to Rhoda, maybe to JFF. Let me say this, people. I keep telling you guys this all the time. My goal is not no war thing, you know. My goal is about the football and us doing well as a country in general. When I war thing, if we can't make peace, there's only one person in Jamaica I would make peace with. One person in Jamaica I would make peace with. We don't want a peace with him. We don't want derail on him. We don't want to see him. I saw him at the stadium and I glanced for 2 seconds and I just looked off. That sounds really bad, but that person to me is just not a good person. I will call his name. I don't want to make peace with him. I don't want to engage him. I don't want to be around him. I don't want him to be in my vicinity. And I don't want to be in his vicinity. I just don't like people who are just, I don't want to use the word because then they're going to bring out who the person is. I just don't like people who are a certain way in life and they're not receptive to changing. Right? I had this to Rudolph, and Rudolph listened to me. I think there's mutual respect. I can't talk for him, but there's respect on my part, right? So I want an engagement. When I met Mr. Ricketts at the stadium, it's always an amicable conversation. So if you hear me beat Ricketts sometime, I have an affinity for Ricketts, which I don't know how I get that from, because most time when I have those serious people, I beat them. It was a very good engagement. Short engagement, but good engagement. Right? No, it's not enemy. I don't have any enemies. I don't believe in the enemy stuff, people. We as a people fight too much. We have to find common ground and a way to think about how we can help each other be better. When I retired, one thing I thought about was this, is that, you know what? The people who are older, or as Jason Goon always tell me, I'm old. We have a responsibility and we should be accountable for setting the right example and for making people realize that you can agree to disagree. And it may be the agreement is boisterous. The agreement may come across not really good, but you can pivot and say, you know what? We should go in a different direction because we ain't setting the best example for anyone. Right? So I know in this chat, some people will never forgive me for that engagement. They'll never forgive me for, they say, being with frenemy and enemy, but they don't understand that I live by certain principles in life. And I will say this, when I was in corporate, maybe that's where I learned some of these things from. I used to see people at the table, and I know they hated each other, but you could never tell because business was business. Doesn't mean I have that same hate for anybody, frankly, but my philosophy is, can you be more productive being adversaries than collaborating? That's the question. Or we will still have challenges because if something goes wrong, I'm gonna call it out. I've decided that I'm not gonna be an insider. I believe each of us who may have something to contribute should contribute. You can't be just there creating mayhem and not providing solution. No, I don't have any enemies. Because when you get baptized, you forgive toxic boss. I have no comment. Now, I'm not sure I'm going to do that either. But we talked about, let me just say this. We talked about everything you can think about from a footballing standpoint. Because I think when you're trying to work through situations, you should always try to get, at a minimum, 2 sides to the story, maximum 3 sides to the story, because there's always 3 sides. There's my side, your side, and the truth, frankly, or the total truth. Because we all make when we have confrontation and conversations, we always make ourselves look better than we truly are. We're not going to be totally transparent, because then it's a bad light for us, so we don't do that, right? As people, that's what we do in any situation. Somebody told you a story about something that transpired with somebody else. I didn't curse. I didn't say to the cop. The cop just stopped me and just said, "I'll give me a ticket." Really, that really happened? It may happen. And the cop would basically say, "No, the person was rude. They're obnoxious. They ran the light, and I give them the ticket." Right? It depends. So everybody's gonna have their side to the story. The question is, what is reality, and what is fabricated, and where does the truth really lie? So I want to, and I didn't tell Rudolph I was going to have the discussion here about me and a meeting. It wasn't necessarily public consumption, but I want to make sure in these forums we're clear that me and Rudolph are not enemies at all. First of all, when Rudolph came on when I was calling Rudolph out about a while ago when he came on my channel, his protestation to me was, as you guys know, was I'm not treating him fairly, right? Which that's where he sits. I don't agree. That's where he sits. So but you can think about whatever you hear me talk about in these forums, we talked about. I'll put it that way. There's not left unturned. And I know better understand why he has the positions he has on certain things. Positions. And sometimes we'll never agree, but that's okay. We can all agree. I don't agree with anything that Trump does. Except to lower taxes, I should say. Him said that you're bad man. We never talk about that one. hey, DJ Gigs, I remember everything. I don't think Rudolph believe I'm bad mind. I think sometimes, you know what we do? Okay, here's what I view this, people. You see, if you're pressuring me, I have to find a way to respond to put the knife in you back, because you're pressuring me, right? I don't think he believes I'm bad mind. I'm not bad mind. I was one of the first person who texted him, even though he would tell me that 100 people texted him. And we said this in a public forum, so I can say it. When he won against the team from Dominican Republic and won the Caribbean Championship, I was the first person to text him to say congrats. No, man, we're not yet. Okay, man, somebody shouldn't call Trump name. You know, Andre's been warning me, Dr. Dan, that if we want to come back in our country, because they check social media, I manage that. Maybe I should make a contingency plan just like I can come back. But then, if I can't come back, and some people are Jamaican are like diaspora, then I don't know if I go then. No, if I live in IC, I don't know how that's going to work. No, he's canceling taxes on tips, for example, BM, so waitresses and waiters do have to pay taxes on tips. No, not everybody. A lot of people benefit from lowering tax. Yeah, Triple E. I wouldn't say to every point we agree to disagree on something, but yeah, no, it was a very amicable conversation. Think about you sitting down with somebody for 3.5 hours, people. So I'm gonna be going, right? As you would quit the conversation in half an hour, right? No, we met for 3.5 hours and it was a really good conversation. It was a really good dinner, frankly. AC has good food, by the way. By the way, if you come to Jamaica, so I'm promoting AC. Nice hotel. No. I like to live in weather that either has summer. We can't live in England. Okay, so yes. So people, goalkeepers Monday. You know what the problem I have now, Tycoon, is that in Jamaica, I gotta figure it out. Because I want to go around Jamaica, people. You know what? I don't want to see them come to Jamaica, but I do YouTube, seriously. Probably do a lot of YouTube comment, try to get subscribers. I forget to be 3,000. So don't get there. I don't want to be unappreciative, but I was talking to my fisher this morning and he said, "What time?" And I was like, "I'm doing a show, but as soon as the show done, come pick me up. I'm going on the road." And people, I have been mashing so much bricks in Jamaica. My heels are killing me. If you hear me have Achilles heel blowout, cause my brother driving. I tell you, Lord have mercy for me. I'm gonna get heart attack. Now, I said last night he can drive, but man, I'm sweating already. This is like flying, but flying on the ground. When Reggae Boyz said, you are like many other people. They'll be antagonistic until they become an insider or a friend. Well, I won't be an insider. So, friend, we'll see. But I won't be an insider. Not insider. I've said to myself, I will be independent for the rest of my life. I will be independent. Doesn't mean if I'm in an environment, I can't try to add value, but I'm gonna be independent. Because when you become an insider, you can't be transparent. I hear the Granjero. Hey, Granjero, I'm always messed up your name. Sorry, I apologize for that. Yeah, no. The man hey, people, I come from Kingston yesterday. I record some of it. I missed some of the doozies. May I tell the star, we decided to take some back roads. Hey, let me say this to government. Hey, government, you are neglecting some of these back roads. I understand you don't have unlimited resources. We didn't take the highway because I wanted to see what other parts of Jamaica like. The highway not have no life to it. Right? It's pipe on the highway, you just drive straight. We don't know life. We just take some back roads. But for some sections, it was great. For other sections, don't drive there at nighttime, people. Else your transmission probably will drop out. But my brother driving is Lord. I love driving with him and I hate driving with him. Seriously. He's a brilliant driver, but I tell you star. Because we don't love the overtaking thing. We're not telling a lie. When I bite people for nothing, for just fun. He's not biting. He's not biting people. I call it biting, right? He's not bite people in a way in which he's not thinking or driving with a level of prudence. But I don't know. I have to get used to it. Maybe because I haven't been here in a while. And I decided I was going to drive down here, so. I have an addition. I almost done with the program now. What time now? Come have to go up on the road. So you got 15 minutes. The floor is yours. People, the new enemy of Jamaica, the new enemy of Jamaica is here, people, because we text them saying they're busy. We can't hear you.
I am not an enemy of Jamaica. Okay? I am a friend of Jamaica.
Not anymore.
I am not. Well, you want to make me an enemy. I'll remain a friend. my mate here.
Can you hear Andre? You sound low, Andre. I'm sure you sound low. You gotta turn up.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
We can't hear you, but it's a little bit. So we can go higher.
Hold on, let me see. Why is that? I don't know why that is.
And Andre, you can stop beating me. I got past my 3,000 subscribers, so you can stop beating me.
You get past your 3,000?
Yep.
So how does it feel? How does it feel that you have worked for that?
It feels great.
That's what self-reliance does. Good feeling that comes.
Feels great.
So what's going on? What are you up to this morning? I've been out and I get your message and but I couldn't do the car thing again today. The road is very busy. And just like your nephew, I'm not so sure if everybody can drive.
Oh my! Hey, Andre. I'll give you an example, Andre.
Stop criticizing.
No. It's not criticizing. I love the driver. Andre, just think about this. You're driving 80 miles an hour. Must be about 80 miles an hour. Somebody said to make a left turn from the wrong side of the road, and you're overtaking somebody else.
Yeah. That's
just envision that, Andre. Yeah, when he came out, he said, "Oh, I drive for all of them, so I know he's gonna make some stupid move." I have anticipated the stupid move he's gonna make, and navigate that stupid move already. I was like, okay.
So understand that, unfortunately, life seemed to have a different value in the island.
It appears that way.
There's a small survey you can do. Ask anybody that you meet, anybody you talk to. Ask them if they have life insurance. It's unfortunate.
Oh man,
it seems that way.
Yeah. I hear you. So how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I was a little bit. I'm not sure what you're discussing this morning, but I listened to something last night. And you might be aware of it, where one of your countrymen who is very influential, who has a program on the island that a lot of people listen to.
Maverick.
So who have an audience.
Maverick. There's only one person like that. It's only one person. One person.
And he calls the group that Jamaica in, he calls it soup.
What kind of soup? Red pea soup? Beef soup?
and well, we're gonna know what kind of soup it is in the end. And he said that it will be disappointing if Jamaica get anything less than the 18 points that are at stake. He said it would be disappointing if Jamaica doesn't win every game by 3 points. And he said it's an easy qualification, Jamaica going to the World Cup. What is interesting about that is that I think, because I think he's intelligent, I think he's aware, I think he has a good brain in his head. I don't think he believes that. But what I think he does know is that there's people that listen to him.
Yes.
That embrace that.
he plays for his audience. He plays for it. That's all he plays for his audience. Yeah. He's a manipulator, right? Yeah. He's a manipulator.
But I have no problem if that's how you all want to approach it.
No, my philosophy is this: is that the ball is round. We see that. We struggle with BVI. We struggle with Cuba. We struggle with St Vincent, for Christ. We barely beat St Vincent. What are we talking about?
So, but not only that. Football in its natural state is chaotic. When you watch the last Jamaica game and we saw Lati playing inverted, going into the midfield, and the boy dropping the six. I could never remember his name. Hayden dropping between the center halves. Yep. Right. That is the coaches organizing the game. Yep. But the game is very chaotic, right, in its natural state. So, and you have a young man that I like a lot. I think he's been very what's the word to use, boy? He has served Jamaica very well, served the national team very well. And he has a tendency to commit fouls. So 10 minutes into a game against Curaçao, you could be playing with 9 men. So I'm just putting out. I'm just trying to make sense of the whole thing. Right?
So you're assuming he's a starting on the field.
He should be a starter in the Jamaican team. Maybe I don't know, but the coach.
You know it's funny about you. It's funny you mentioned that when he played Guatemala, there was a ball on the sideline, and all he had to do was play the ball about. He came in.
Hold on a minute. Hold on.
No. I'll give you an example.
Anything that to make Jason believe I'm a traitor. me liking Jamaica and wanting well for Jamaica, that doesn't put me in a position. and Jason, there's another one. He's having a difficult time anymore, but Ajani has a bread. If he gets into that team is a much better team as well. So be mindful.
Wait, what are you talking about? In Jamaica or Trinidad?
In Trinidad.
No, Trinidad. Hey, people. Let me say this, people. Dwight Jack, I recruit they're even changing laws in Trinidad, people. They're going to change laws to make sure they're the best. No, I'm dead serious. They change laws to make sure they're the best team. Trinidad only allow the first generation to be citizens, right? They don't allow, like Jamaica, you can be 2, 3 down the line. Trinidad is making sure they give themselves the best chance. Like Curaçao is recruiting like crazy. Right?
Curaçao is a very good team.
Very good team. And Bermuda can only be here because they've done something right.
They've done something special, not right. They did something right. Yes, you're correct. Over a period of time, but they did something special. Yeah, and
they've been recruiting.
Yeah.
They've been recruiting. Everybody recruiting.
So the group may not be quote unquote soup.
Plus, Trinidad beat the U.S. in Trinidad, right? You beat the U.S. in Trinidad, so and your team is probably going to be better than playing Jamaica than playing the U.S. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, there's going to be a better team.
Qualifications, like right now with the Gold Cup You know, there's some injuries. There's some you know, there's different things that is happening. 2 or 3 people out, maybe 2 or 3 people coming in. I don't know how they're going to resolve some of those things, but you know,
I think Trinidad. Yeah. I think what
is a
Reggae
good opportunity for them to get a lot of the players that they know probably is going to be in the World Cup qualifiers.
right.
So unlike the Unity Cup, the experience here is going to translate because you're probably going to have most of those players there.
Yeah, and look, when we played Unity Cup, you sliced through our midfield. I don't people realize that.
Yeah,
The midfield, I mean, Trinidad looked like they were Barcelona against us in the midfield. I mean, when you get to the final third, you struggled, but you know, it has to be that we don't go into this tournament overconfident.
But you know how I think, right? That game is behind us. We can't do nothing but that. It's how we do in the next game coming up. It's how we do in the next game coming up. That's the important thing. And look, yeah, that's it's look. How did Curaçao end up in our group?
Very carefully.
Eh?
I have no idea. I have no idea. This is Concacaf saying it's a blind process.
No, it's not a blind process. It was.
You get that?
It's not a blind process. It's a process whereby they laid it out, right?
Yeah, but it's a blind process for the other 3 teams, wasn't it?
No. There's a part of the process that's not blind. Of the 12 teams, of the 12 teams, Concacaf told us that they're gonna go in a pot based on your ranking, right?
Yeah, but the top 3 teams was based on the ranking. The question is, how do you select the other team that fill out those 3 brackets?
Okay, you're skipping a step.
No. So
there's pots, and there's brackets.
Right. So you had top 3 teams, which is based on their rankings. One in their brackets, right?
It sounds like you're not. It sounds like you're not in New York because you keep freezing. Are you somewhere else?
I think you're freezing. I see you freezing, not me freezing.
I'm freezing.
So who's freezing people? Am I freezing or Andre freezing? I see you freezing.
Okay, is it me? Okay.
That's okay. Trinidad gonna be asking if this Jamaica when we play you.
They'll be asking what?
Is this really Jamaica? I thought we had an MOU. They'll be asking that question.
And I appreciate you forgetting things quickly. I just said to you that football is chaotic. Football is chaotic, and anything can happen on the day.
No, your team is improving. Your team is improving.
And if you guys prove to be too much, we just have to get close and make.
Oh, they say I'm freezing. They say it's me actually. I don't know why. I thought this Wi-Fi worked.
Well, the information that I had based on location, I would expect it to be you.
Let me just see something, because no, I am. If it's me freezing, then that's not good.
I think Trinidad has just a good chance as Jamaica. The Unity Cup should give you hope. Not everybody saw that Trinidad criticized us as easy. That's what Cranky just said, and I don't believe in hope. Unfortunately, I think they have to do the work. I think Dwight got to spend some time looking into the opponents, looking for their weaknesses. You got to evaluate from the coach, come right up. What are his tendencies? Because the game is played even on the side. He's got to figure out and making sure that he's following every player so that he brings the right players in.
If someone says here that Curaçao is a diaspora team, so I summarize it.
It doesn't matter. They play the Concacaf.
No, but I'm trying to make the point about some countries going to make sure they get the best team on the field.
Well, I mean, you all have led the way in that, in getting the best players.
Led the way, but so, I don't know if we have led the way, but we
you still have maximized the opportunity.
We export a lot of people, so we expect to have a lot come back. We export a lot of people. We export them like we export. We export them, but agriculture, no ideas, enough. Like we export grace products. We export a lot of people.
Look, I'm being. It's been shared here that Maverick doesn't speak for all Jamaicans. Yeah, I could live with that.
He speaks for a lot of them, frankly.
I was impressed with TNT against Ghana. They should have won the game. I would say at least get a point based on how we handled it. Then I do know what against Jamaica or coach use. Well, that's Cranky believes in ChatGPT. Cranky believes it's a good tool.
I love AI. It's not just chat, by the way. I love AI, and I'm gonna be. If you have a job, I was telling my mentee this morning, right? Because my mentee said he's gonna go. I hope he doesn't beat me for saying this. He's gonna go to grad school, and I said, before you go to grad school, you go check to see how AI gonna affect your job. Don't go do no discipline. Go put you out of work the day you get out of grad school. Pay you a lot of money to go to grad school. Okay. Make sure you check out AI gonna affect your job.
You just need to become an electrician or a plumber, or you become a millionaire pretty quick.
I don't. Yeah, for some of those disciplines, or a nurse, frankly, some of the disciplines, yeah, you still have a job. For now, we see how that work going forward.
What does the coach use ChatGPT?
You know what? You know what we should do? Maybe AI can replace the football coaches.
No, that's not possible.
Hey, people, maybe AI can replace the football coaches. You ever say, people? So let me just give you an example. Let's do hypothetical. So you take the AI and you assess how Trinidad play, Dwight York tendencies, and all the things that he does. And you take Cranky, who knows nothing about football, and say to AI, tell me how I should set up my team, and I should play against Dwight York's team, give him how he plays. I bet I could coach most people using AI than a regular coach could do.
So what are you gonna do? How AI gonna support you for that part of the game where, as a coach with knowledge based on your experience, and the speed of the game, for you to able to see something that's taking place and respond to it in that moment? Whether
So
it's people adjustment or information you share with the players on the pitch, how are you going to address that?
So, good question. Easy answer.
Okay.
We're doing real-time updates to what's transpiring. I have my data analytical team in the stand sending me down information on my iPad, real-time what's transpiring. Formation, strategy, understand. Just like they do in the NFL, by the way, you send the pictures down, you send the video down. I have another assistant on the bench beside me, relaying the data to me, and I'm addressing it immediately.
I am so disappointed in you.
Wait, no. Unlike McClaren, when Robinson was running wild against the US, did not a thing about that situation.
Okay, so hold on a minute. Hold on.
You go ahead. Hold
on a minute. I'm going to give you, and you're putting me in a position here to get myself into trouble with people, right? And I'm going to try not to get into trouble, but I have to answer you. You had a situation already, or there was a situation on one of these platforms where a coach was telling us that the difference between a JPL team and an MLS team was the MLS team was getting real-time information.
Yes, that was was very topical, but yes.
Hold on. You're doing the same thing. Hold on, you're doing the same thing. So you're saying with real-time information.
But you know I disagree with that. You know I disagree with that. First of all, you know I disagree with that.
But you just told me that's how you.
No. You misinterpret what I'm saying.
Part of my thought before you go on.
Okay, go on.
During the final of the JPL and the playoffs, right? And I'm not for every game, but it was evident in the final. Mount Pleasant had real-time information. They had people in the stands with real-time information that it was sharing with the coach.
Yeah.
And they didn't win the game.
Okay, good. Can I answer that?
Yeah, go ahead.
The Wi-Fi was freezing like mine.
Yeah?
The Wi-Fi was freezing.
What?
The Wi-Fi was freezing. By the time they get down there, they were doing something else.
So my point here, while data is important and the AI might be able to help you, that knowledge based from experience, it's going to be difficult to replace.
But Andre, is what we're missing. People. So this is a dinosaur and a contemporary saying this. The experience you have are all going to be captured in some database and extracted you're going to leverage that data. All the data you're thinking about, all your experiences, is not more than all the other coaches' experiences.
So maybe AI is affecting our experience right now, because every time you say something that absurd, you freeze.
That is not true. That is not true. You're making that up.
Maybe AI, every time you say something that AI have a problem with, they just freezing you up.
No. Look, I do think actually, because we heard this about Brighton and this team from France.
Float. I think Trinidad does have a very good chance. If Trinidad does everything that they're supposed to do with the right intent, and I think I will. If the effort is an honest effort, I think Trinidad has a very good chance. And what I mean by that is selecting the right squad, putting the right starting 11 on the pitch, treating the players in the way they're supposed to be treated. If they create an environment that is conducive to performance, to getting the best out of the players, I think Trinidad have a chance.
Yeah. No, look, all the teams, Curaçao have a chance, Trinidad have a chance, they all have a chance, right? That's why they're there. And so we don't have to play the game if they didn't have a chance.
Yep.
They may have different levels in terms of the odds, but they have a chance.
And that's a very good point. The game is played within those white lines and not on YouTube, right? So when
we do play a lot of it on YouTube, it doesn't work out well.
it's able to be the technology allow us to be able to transmit the game onto YouTube, but the game is being played inside of some white lines, and that's where that's where it matters. So I'm looking forward to the Gold Cup. I'm looking forward to the World Cup qualifiers, because it's just create a sense of enthusiasm amongst the fan base, period. Now, you and I talk about this ad nauseum. We should not get carried away and not think about the future. Because the future is not just 2026, right? We have a whole 2026 come and pass, we got to still live, right? So even though we have to focus on the present, we also have to focus on the future. And my hope is that the leaders in the Caribbean will also think about the now and what's coming versus just the now. Yeah, well, I think and that's a very strong point that you're making there. I hope they looking at this moment and realizing that that the future is important, and whatever comes out of this, especially in terms of resources, that they're putting plans in place to further develop the football. That this is not just a one-off, because just for the purpose of the conversation, Jamaica went in '98, and how many years now is that since they had a chance to go back? Trinidad went in 2006, and probably facing a similar situation now so many years later. And I think both countries from the island, one or both, should have a presence. I'll
say this: if neither team make the work, let's say Curaçao make it and Bermuda make it, Jamaica don't make it, Trinidad doesn't make it, right? Unlikely. Even so, between now and the completion of the qualifiers, Trinidad and Jamaica should be generating so much resources from all of this enthusiasm, euphoria, expectation.
Yeah.
Because think about it. Everybody now, even peripheral fans, are going to be making him across the board to generate the interest, which is not being generated on the field, right? So you should just be thinking about making money just from, if I get to the World Cup. You should be thinking about, how do I create a sustainable program now with all this momentum being built up to team now, but for what I'm trying to do in the future.
Well, generating the resources is one.
Not the endowment.
Yeah, no. Generating the resources is one thing. Is I guess it's how you spend it, right? I mean, most people get a income every week, every month, whatever the case may be, every 2 weeks. And sometimes the way they handle it is doesn't allow them to get ahead. So how we handle the resources. But look, we have to be mindful that, back in 2019, FIFA did announce that they're going to expand the Club World Cup to 32 teams. And in 2019 to now is about 6 years. they were supposed to have it in China, I think, and it didn't happen. And now they have it in America, and that gave every club owner and every leader in the region an opportunity to try to be part of what's taking place, what starts on Monday here. And I don't know anybody paid attention. I think the closest we came is Cavaliers. I think we discussed this yesterday. Cavaliers, you know, getting out of the JPL and trying to make way in the Champions Cup, but nobody came close, and that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
You know what's funny actually? I gotta go in the next 5 minutes. In Ecuador, they have a situation where it may be the richest person in the country who has this football team, and he almost like he has an all-star team, right? So that all-star team with the best players in Ecuador just go around and beat everybody in Ecuador, obviously, but then really do well in South American Championship, right? Which then means your players get to be exported. The point I'm trying to make is this, which is you may not have enough people in the Caribbean when you distribute the teams to allow you to compete with the MLS and with the Mexican League and all that. So do you have to revise the strategy in a way to allow you to do what you're saying, which is my team is good enough to play with these teams and get access to other tournaments and environment where the better teams get in? You got to revisit how you do this. You got to think outside the box how you do this, because it's not work. What's done is not working now.
Well, one of the things is, you know, Cavaliers did it. They went into that space 2 years in a row, right?
Yeah.
But the Cavaliers get the support of the JPL, of the JFF, of the business community to try to go beyond where they reached the year before, because you can't criticize the job that they have done. Right? They win in the JPL. They dominate in the JPL, I guess, because they win it 3 years now and 4.
Yeah, they dominate JPL.
Right?
They don't have the worst resources, but they dominate JPL.
Yeah, and they get into that space, but you see, to go beyond, to do what we're discussing, the ambition need to exist. We need to be aware, right? Since 2019, what was up ahead?
Yeah,
so they can get together. So that's why I do believe that it's because of the things that we say we don't have. We need to, and the best way I say this, I believe that the Caribbean needs a Caribbean foreign policy. So for some of these efforts for it to work, we need to have unity. We need to work together to make it happen. Because you have Defense Force in Trinidad have a tremendous amount of resources. You have Mount Pleasant have a tremendous amount of resources. You have Cavaliers, despite they seem to have a lot of resources, despite what is discussed. And resources doesn't have to mean money, but they're getting the job done, right? So they have something that's making it possible, whether it's football acumen, whether it's whatever it is. And we're not there, and I think that's disappointing to me.
All right, Andre, I appreciate you being here, so I don't have to run. I'm in Jamaica on vacation, so I have things to go do. I would say this time to come. But by the way, I just sent Andre this at the last minute, and he came on, so I truly appreciate Andre coming on to the program. First of all, let me just say this before I go, people. Before
you say that, why do you have what seem to be fake flowers over your right shoulder, and you're in Jamaica?
I'm in an Airbnb. Don't criticize me, criticize them. Putting fake flowers in here. It's aesthetic, people. So those people come to the Airbnb, it's aesthetic. The window is closed. The airport is not even far from here, because I can hear the planes landing.
You know the purpose. You know the purpose of plants, right? Before you leave, just leave them a note and let them know what plants do to the environment and to you, and
It looked real to me. It looked real to me.
Is Corey's getting rid of me here?
Wait. Listen to the football guru. It's not the right time to be concerned about anything except qualifying. Game charters, comfortable travel players. Football guru, you can do both. Don't be one-dimensional. Don't be one-dimensional. You're thinking, okay? I'll just talk to you about a club World Cup happening, millions of dollars, and we ain't getting none of it.
Not millions, 1 billion.
When we say millions, meaning millions of the team go get millions. The 1 billion is for total. Right, and we're not in the conversation.
We're not in the conversation.
We're not in the conversation. But anyway,
we're not even hosting a game in the Caribbean. Just think about that.
And Andre, I do believe the thinking has to change, Andre. The thinking has to change. The thinking has to change. But anyway, gotta go. Let me just say this first of all, people.
You have a good day.
I just checked. I have 3,000. I think it's 12 subscribers. I truly appreciate that. It's been a great journey, a challenging journey. And each of you have contributed to this journey, whether you subscribe or not. If you're watching, if you're part of this conversation, I truly appreciate you, each of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll be doing more shows from Jamaica, but I'm also be doing some shows that may not be football related because this is an interesting journey, being here, seeing the country, seeing the development, and very proud of the island and direction of travel we're going. Because when I was coming down the road, it's not just the tourist areas which are being developed and are attractive. There are other areas which are not optically not even optically, substantively tourist areas where you're seeing the development occurring and where the people I'm engaging have been great to engage. Right? So thank you for being here. I truly appreciate you. I hope you have a great day. I'm going to go on the road and go enjoy my country because I hadn't been for a little while. We should be euphoric. We should be happy. We should be enthused. And what I'd like each of you to do, Cranky held us hostage for 3K. You know, I deserve the beating, Umzo, so I'm not going to protest. But if you know who I am, Umzo, I had already started putting together programs which are not football. I don't think you realize that. I am happy. This is going to sound ungrateful. I'm actually happy and sad that it's this way because now I got to put off doing some of the things I wanted to do because I did say if I get the 3,000, I'm going to keep doing football. But I appreciate, Anzo, you being here and everyone has been here and helping me to get the 3,000. Okay? Trust me. I live by certain principles. I wasn't going to break my principles. Even if I had 2,999, I wouldn't have been doing the football. Seriously. But I do appreciate you. But I'm just going to say this, which is this. I hope each of you have a wonderful day. I hope for yourself and for somebody every single day, because each other fairly and treat each other well, the better world we live in. Right? If you are kind to somebody, you'd be surprised how a smile and an act of kindness make you feel good, not just the person you're engaging feel good. So work on that. Please work on that. Because life is challenging as it is. People are trying to make a living and try to survive. And what you don't want to do is be somebody who is an affront to somebody else. You want to be somebody who somebody feels they can engage. I can tell you, like being here and asking people for direction and asking people questions, it's been so great just engaging people. And the Jamaica, I know sometimes people can be very aggressive. And people have been extreme. It's been a pleasant visit, I'm telling you. Whether it's my engagement with the JFF, whether it's my engagement with CC and Eddie Gooner and AC Hotel and now I'm in Montego Bay, I'm having and come back, or if you're locally here, just have fun, people. Live a good life. Don't make no one deter you with negativity. Be positive. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And peace out. I appreciate you. Peace out.